Okay. Hopefully you guys can see me. Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Gabby Escamilla, and I will be introducing you guys to MangaQuest. So, what MangaQuest is a manga reading book library. So what it really is here for is to make tracking and discovering manga as fun as it is really reading it. But unfortunately, there is a problem that I'm currently facing that got me to really create this app in the first place. And what that was really loving reading the manga, but unfortunately getting stunted and having to get around all these barriers, whether it would be, annoying pop-ups online, or unfortunately going actually into a bookstore like Barnes and Noble and experiencing the limited selection in the library. Um, so with that, I wanted to, get a better understanding before I took completely in and just kind of made it my own. Because of course that's not how you solve a problem. You got to ask others. So here I have a survey that I did. I surveyed 20 manga readers. So these are people from complete noobs. They don't know anything about manga. They are just sort of interested in it and might have maybe read a page or two and kind of got a little freaked out. And I've also, surveyed people who are extremely experienced, and just within that range, I was able to, talk to so many people and survey them. So really what this is what they would want the most. So here we have 45% of them noted that apps that they did end up reading from were too cluttered. It didn't seem as clear and kind of got just, it wasn't easy to navigate. Then 35, whoa, okay, let me back up if you can see everything. And then 35% wanted more personalization. So they wanted um, to be able to have their reading taste catered to what they like, of course. And then 20% wanted a sense of more of a community. They really wanted, people on that app, real people, commenting, saying, hey, I really like this about this chapter. Hey, I don't know how I felt about this series, but overall it's okay, and it's people want their opinions to be shown. Um, and it's quite popular nowadays. I mean, people go on to Reddit for almost everything. That's what I do personally, at least. And at least a lot of my friends do. Um, so that's kind of what I've gathered for how I wanted to, try to build this app. So here we have just one of the home screens for MangaQuest. So I'll go ahead and click on this and it'll take a moment to load. So we'll wait patiently. And I'll quickly just go through the app. So this is showing sort of just obviously the login page, but we're going to start off as creating an account instead, sort of get the idea. So we'll sign in, put in all of our info, and what it'll then ask is to really find the perfect manga for you. So here comes that personalization quiz. I try to not make it as long because, of course, you're also having to work with the user's attention span, and nowadays that is very short. So only did a couple questions, but still got um, enough personalization to cater to what the users would want. So here we have the first question, what genres do they enjoy the most? So here I selected, action, adventure, comedy, romance, slice of life, supernatural, stuff like that. Super simple. What's your favorite manga right now? And the users are able to not select anything, of course, if they're completely new and they have no idea. But since I would say, I think at this point, sort of an expert, I selected these mangas. Black Clover, Fairy Tale, My Hero Academia. All of these I do suggest, and very good titles that I personally like that could help, find similar mangas. And then finally, what kind of pacing do you prefer in a story? I find this to be even popular for people who don't even read manga. People want to probably have something slow and steady. I do not, because I read a lot of manga. I mean, not manga, of course I read a lot of manga. I read a lot of romance. And boy, do I just want those couples to get together quickly, or at least somewhat, quickly, not super slow where it takes like a million chapters. So I selected balanced pacing and fast paced. So that was the personalized quiz section. So I'll go ahead and finish it. Now this is the home screen you saw earlier. Of course, this is showing somebody who has been reading this just so people can get a better understanding. So this is the now at the very top. This is what I just recently was reading. So I can kind of track and go back and see what I was, most recently looking. So I was reading Fairy Tale. I was 78% through, so I can continue reading and it'll take me to their page. And it'll give me just everything that I would want to see, like ratings, a good quick summary, and you'll see all the chapters down here and bookmark and read. So here we can have that reading section where you can, see the entire chapter, which is really cool and slick and easy to, visually read. Um, then back to that home page. You'll notice here there's a yellow bell. So that just is a notification. It lets everybody know, hey, we got a new chapter. Super simple. It's easy in the corner to see. We've got a for you section. So that was that personalization. So of course, then that means, it'll, whatever I selected earlier, like here's some romance titles, here's some slice of life, sort of comedy. Um, sort of, recommendations like that. Then we have genres, super simple. And this will be displayed to everybody, no matter what you selected before. It's just an option. Um, if that way you can always go back. And even for the for you section, there would be a place in the settings where, of course, you could correct or update. I more want to say update what your preferences are. Because, of course, if I'm not so much into romance at the moment, I can just take that off and it'll give me comedy, action, whatever I selected. And then at the bottom, it has recently browsed. Then we've got the search page, pretty standard. We've got recently browsed and once again the discover section, just so it's always giving you an option, but you don't always have to select it. It's just there, making it super, super simple for users to just kind of go through. Then we've got your library, pretty standard. You could select whatever one you were reading or you can reread. It just keeps it organized and help the user know, hey, what I think I was reading this one chapter from this one book and I kind of want to go back to it. You can. And then of course you've got your profile page where you've got all your settings and stuff. Pretty standard. So that is Manga Quest. I love her. Let me see if I can go back to this. Okay. Ah, thank you. No, what I wanted to go back on was I did my very best to try to cover what the users would want, potential users would want. So, try to make the app a little bit easier to navigate more than others. Then there was also that personalization. So we had that quiz, but there's also ways where you can have sort of an AI generated personalization. And then we've got community. There's people in there. I didn't show, but there's a rating section where you can put in your comments and what people, recommend and saying, hey, I like this, I didn't really like that. Just giving a sense of community, people being able to reach out to others like that. So it's super cool. That was Manga Quest, and thank you so much.